All right, folks, welcome to the fourth episode of Behind the Brand. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are very honored to have you. My name is Anna Hendricks, and I'm the CEO of Arch Digital Agency, a full-service social media marketing agency specializing in the health and wellness industries. You can find out more about us at archdigitalagency.com. In addition to managing an agency, one of my greatest loves in life is the personal story. From growing up watching Actors Studios to my love of memoirs, biographies, and nonfiction books, the personal journey has become an obsession for me. I'm so inspired by the stories of normal people who did something extraordinary. But what fascinates me the most isn't the pinnacle, it's the climb. On BTB, we get to know people who have managed to take a typical life and turn it into a spectacular one. We'll be talking about the trials and the successes, the quirks that make them who they are, and how they continue to grow as individuals. Today, we're talking about growing an international brand with social media with our guest, John Capos, aka Chocolate Johnny. But first, I want to introduce my co-host and community manager, KP Kelly, who is a branding consultant and the Twitter marketing specialist at Arch. Kevin, KP,
Anna,
thank you so much for all you do.
this is the most yoga that I do. On this show, I do this, and that's my yoga for the week.
Okay. Now I'm so pleased to introduce our third guest to this series, John Capos, aka Chocolate Johnny. John's family first started Perfection Chocolates and Sweets in 1939. From a small boy, he got to help make and taste the family's secret recipes. John studied business and later traveled the world. In his travels, he studied and learned more about chocolate and confectionery industry. He is now the CEO of Perfection Chocolates. This company has also won gold, silver, and bronze medals at the Royal Agricultural Society of Tasmania, Melbourne, and Dairy Industry Association of Australia, and the Royal Easter Show of Fine Foods, Sydney Royal Cheese, and Dairy Produce Show. John is a judge for the Food Magazine Australia and was a consultant partner to the Bella Group in China, who opened John Brown chocolate stores. For the past 8 years, John is focused on expanding his business through social media. Using lots of different platforms, he has found great success with Periscope, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And he also consults, mentors, and helps small businesses. Thank you so much for being here, John.
Well, Anna, KP, thank you for having me. And I'm honored to be here. I've been dying to get on here.
Well, I'm super excited to have you. I grew up in small business, and I've also lived on that side of the world. And I love chocolate. So I feel like there's just so much to your story, not even talking about the awesomeness of social media, right? So we're going to have a lot to talk about. But first, we're going to jump into our first segment of the day called Anna Asks. So if you're new to the show, this is the segment where you, the audience, submit a random question. All three of us have to answer it in 1 minute. So I'm going to get the timer ready. And if we don't have a question, then I will use the one I've made for today. Dun, 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 dun,
Now,
dun, dun,
thank you for
dun,
sharing.
dun,
I need
Questions,
music.
people. It's your chance to put us on the spot.
Absolutely. Put us on the spot. Okay. And folks, please share this out with your audience on Twitter or Facebook. Let's just ramp up this room and have a great time tonight. Okay. What has surprised you most about changes in social media in the last 12 months? That's a big question. John, you're the guest. You're first. You've got 1 minute.
In last 12 months, great question, Adam. Okay, the big thing for me has been live video, which is live streaming, which is Periscope, which is 50 other apps that we use. So in 12 months, the impact on what's happened has been equated for me in 5 years of working on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So Adam says, the changes of social media. So, yeah, I think the next big thing for me is definitely live video, live streaming, and that's where it's all heading. Yeah, it's changed my business to global, and that's why I'm here talking to you guys right now. So a little chocolate shop in Sydney, Australia has become a global brand, but also not just my store, Chocolate Johnny, and that's the big changes that social media has helped me with. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it.
Perfect.
Best as I go at it.
Nice job. Okay. KP, your turn.
Yeah. This is several shows now, and I realize I should spend time thinking about what I'm going to say.
I'm going to start the timer now, okay?
I never do. So, you know, obviously live streaming kind of came about and all the different live streaming networks. But I think the one thing that changes in social media, the thing that stands out, kind of a cheating answer, is the lack of changes too, meaning that all these changes happened and live streaming and all these different things happened, and Facebook is still dominant. Facebook is still huge and growing, and nothing is anywhere near close to it. So Facebook, you know, and Facebook's always doomed, and Facebook is still dominant, and Twitter is struggling to make money, I know, and all that, and Twitter is still dominant. Yeah. So you have all these changes, but, you know, Facebook is still dominant and positioned well for 2016. So that's my answer. Do I still have time left? I can start singing to fill out the time, or?
Nope, sorry, no time. No time. Okay, nice. Yeah, I completely agree with that, actually. My mother and I were just discussing Facebook stock today. Okay, my turn. I'll go. Going now. I think the thing that has surprised me the most in the last 12 months is just the rate at which social media is changing and growing. It's like, I mean, because I've been in business since 2012, and things have, you know, steadily been increasing. But 2015, man, was just like, all of a sudden, you know, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, everything's on hyperdrive, and I feel like it's just going to continue going at that speed. It's definitely becoming quite a not a chore, but definitely quite a job to stay on top of everything that's changing. So, all right, I had 15 seconds. Okay, and we're gonna do.
I don't know why that is.
That's my dance. Okay, we're gonna do one more here from Cheval before we jump in. What's up, Cheval? Thanks for your support as always. It's an easy one.
Hey,
what's your favorite color, John?
Chocolate.
A minute.
What's my favorite color?
Wait.
1 minute. Hang on. Let's wait for 59 seconds. Okay, no, seriously, I've got. Okay, because I'm in chocolate, and there's a lot of colors in chocolate and confectionery. One of my favorite colors is blue, but I love the chocolate colors and the different shades of chocolate color that I can make. So really, yeah, blue and chocolate are my two favorite colors. I don't really have one, but yeah, there you go. Plenty of time left over.
Nice.
Get up and do it. Yeah.
Nice. You won't abuse it like someone else I know.
I'm going to give him the credit. So 30 seconds more for KP, because I know he'll.
I like to blab on blab, you know. So my favorite color when I was
blab, blab, blab.
I always said it was green when I was a kid, and then I transitioned to blue more so as an adult because I wore a lot of blue. But I wear black all the time, and I think it's a boring answer. Maybe black matches my dark personality. I don't know. But it's such a boring answer, but it's probably black. And as Anna knows, a lot of times, most of the time when I'm going out, I wear a black suit with a black dress shirt, black belt, black shoes, black socks. Anna does not like that type of outfit, so I never wear it on Behind the Brand. But I do wear a lot of black suit with black shirt. So black, that's my favorite color.
I always wear black. You're happy to wear whatever you want in the show. I wouldn't say anything to you.
Don't say whatever you want.
You look fantastic. You look fantastic. You're my hot co-host. You're great. It's good. It's all good.
Could you say that again louder? I don't think some of the people in the blab heard it.
But let's just put it in the comments for him. I mean, thank God it's recorded. Can we?
I mean, I never even asked him to dress up, but he just does, and that's fantastic. I could have a co-host that didn't really care. Okay, so my favorite color is red, all day long. If you paid any attention to my branding at any point in time since 2012, it's like red, white, and black are my colors. So I'm all about the bright red. It matches me perfectly. Matches my personality. It's my favorite. So that's not a tough one for me. All right. You're very welcome, Cheval. Blue is his favorite color.
And
I feel like blue is like often a favorite color.
I know you're about to get into some great questions. We're going to learn more about Johnny. I just wanted to say for all the people that are listening on replay or maybe listening on YouTube or wherever you might be listening, there are a ton of comments going on in the comment section, which we appreciate, and it's making a lot of fun. So occasionally we may be referencing something in the comment section that doesn't entirely make sense to you on replay, and that's why, because we have so many awesome people in here that are leaving some great comments that we're engaging with.
I just got to quickly do outgoing ourselves. The color consultant says black is not a color. KP, what are you doing?
Black is not a color.
I say it's a color.
No.
I
love it.
Color. I think black well.
Yeah, it's a color. Don't worry.
Yeah, black would probably be my favorite if it wasn't red. Although it's a tie.
What would I do with
right now?
Could you imagine no dark chocolate? What
All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the show. As I mentioned, I'm very excited to have you on the show. I feel like where we could start, there's just no telling. But where I'd really like to start is your family business. So your family business started Perfection Chocolates in 1939. How did that come about? Why did they decide to start this sort of a business?
It's a good question. So what happened was my great uncle, so my mother's uncle and my mother's great uncle came to Australia back in the early 30s, leaving Greece to start a new future with an empty case and one shoe, as they kept on telling me. And in our background, there is a bit of confectionery and bakery and cakes and all that type of stuff. But he met two English ladies here, and they were looking to do stuff. So they decided to open up a little chocolate confectionery store, still in the same location where we are now. And that's where it really started. In 45, the two ladies left. They didn't like Australia, so they went back to the UK. And that's where my great uncle started bringing in the family to leave Greece for bigger opportunities and start a new life in a new country. And that's how we started.
And you grew up in this business?
Yeah. So my parents got involved in the business back in the 70s, early 70s. And so I've, been surrounded by chocolates and sweets all my life.
I would be like a bucket. I would be a bucket if I had been around chocolate my whole life. So what was your first job in the business then?
I remember specifically my dad calling me that I had to stir the peanut brittle. Sorry. Yeah.
We've both got
That's
background
Mrs. Chocolate.
today.
Yeah. I specifically remember my dad telling me to come down to the store and stir, because the factory was actually in our store as well. So we had that old style, chocolate confectionery store with the factory out the back and the staff working out the back. I remember sitting there as a young boy stirring the peanut brittle, wearing his big gloves and all his outfit and thinking, wow, this is so cool. But as I got older, because I had an older brother, younger brother, that I was his slave. He says, oh, come and do this and stir the thing and roll the marshmallow. And he was doing other stuff, and it was free labor for him. And the three brothers were doing all this stuff. I'm thinking, as you get older, you think, hang on a moment, my dad's pretty smart. We're the Oompa Loompas here. He's doing other stuff. And like, okay, you do this, you do that. But you know, the great stuff was that you worked with your dad, you worked with your brothers, you worked with your cousins, your family, and built a great friendship and relationship with that. I mean, my dad's passed away 8 years ago, and yeah, I miss him. I miss him a lot.
I bet. I'm sure growing up, I know because I grew up in my family's restaurant as well, and it really bonds you because your life spent together, but then like your work is kind of spent together, you know. So it's you don't get a lot of time apart. What kind of like, you know, working with family is not always an easy thing. So were there issues growing? I mean, like what kind of energy, what kind of, you know, because I mean, the Greeks that I know are, you know, we're passionate.
We're hardcore. You know, my parents came, you know, the same old story, and I don't care whether, you know, they emigrated to Canada, America, Italy, or, you know, South Africa. Most of the Europeans in the 30s and 40s had nothing and came with nothing, and all they did was work hard, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what did they do it for? They did it for their children, so we could have a house, go to university, travel the world. What was it like growing up? It was tough. I mean, my parents were pretty tough, and I appreciate and respected that. They gave me the discipline to be a hard-working person. Unfortunately, not a smart working person, which all the young millennials are doing now. They work smart, not hard. But yeah, it was a great environment. Yeah, well, look, we had KP, we had our arguments. Oh my God, how many times did I want to walk out, and how many times did my father kick us out, and how many times did my mother and father tell us we you know, we couldn't do it right. But in the long run, we were a close-knit family. You know, my brothers aren't involved in the business. Oh, actually, sorry, my older brother's an academic, so he's not involved in the business. My younger brother's our production manager at our factory. So, you know, the kids are getting everyone involved still. I love it. My mum still works here. She's 75. She loves it. My wife still works here. The kids work here. So and people love it. We're an institution. We've become an institution. The people, I walk down the street and they go, "Oh, Chocolate Johnny." I'll walk into a supermarket, you know, at Westfields. It's Chocolate Johnny. Hi, how are you? So it's a good feeling that I've maintained it and created that that institution and the family business.
So you're older. You are the middle child. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got middle child syndrome at 51, so don't tell anyone.
I won't say a word. Not a word.
No.
You might have to watch out for KP though. He's not. So your older brother is in a different industry, and then your younger brother works with you. At what point in time did you kind of start stepping into more of the leadership roles with the business?
We sat down and had a family discussion many years ago. We've all done well, but I basically, what happened was when I was 18, 19, I traveled to Greece with a university. We did a university trip, and I drank unpasteurized milk while I was studying. I nearly died, and my parents, you know, I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to finish my studies and learn how to fly a helicopter and work on the oil rigs, and do business down there. But anyway, when your parents are watching their son die, they said, "Oh, quick, grab him, hold him, take care of him. You should run the family business." And I said to my brothers, "Look, let's do this together, and let's build this amazing business. One does wholesale, one does retail, one does manufacturing." Anyway, my older brother was an academic. He wasn't interested. My younger brother was still young, and all he wanted to do was engage with young, beautiful women and travel the world. So I decided to make an offer to my parents, and I went to the bank and borrowed a hell of a lot of money, because I don't want people saying, "Oh, you inherited this business." Well, I didn't. I went to the bank and I borrowed tons of money back then, and I said to my parents, "Here's a check. I want the business, but I want it in the family, and let's grow it all by myself." So sort of 19, 20, I sort of made that decision, and they were really happy to do it.
Wow,
And I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, what a great job. I make chocolates and sweets, Anna. I make people come in. I make people happy. They come in depressed. Have you ever seen a person eat chocolate and not be happy? They're unhappy after they've eaten it because they think they've eaten too much.
You're talking to a woman.
Yeah. So when they're all depressed that, oh my God, I've eaten too much chocolate, an hour later or 2 days later they say, oh my God, I'd love some more chocolate. So yeah, I'm blessed to have to be in a great business.
Wow. Okay, so you at 19, you went in, you got a loan, and you said, I want to buy it, but I want to keep it in the family. What gave you like the courage to feel like you were ready at that point in time in your life?
I don't know. I've always been, I've always been a bit of a wheeler and dealer. Even as a kid, I would steal chocolate from my dad and sell it at school. And then, when I had enough money, I would give him the money. I'd say, oh, this is, I owe you this money. Or, I bought my first bit of property when I was old enough. I bought my own car. I, in fact, was working while I was studying. I had 3 jobs. I was studying. I was working 3 jobs. One so I was working at a place called Pancakes. I was working at the store, and I was studying at uni. Plus, I was doing part-time real estate. So I was always, as I say, wheeler and dealer. Always, how can I do this? What can I do? Give me the next thing. What's next? And so I've always put my balls on the line. So I did it. And it's been so far so good. Look, you know what? The truth is, and I'm not going to crap to everyone, it's not an easy job. Running your own business is not easy. If they say it is, then, most of us are not struggling, but most of us are finding it tough. Employees and insurances and this and the bank manager and your loans and taking it to the next level. And it doesn't matter whether you're an accountant or a service station or, petrol station. It's all hard. But if you just keep doing it and keep doing it right, you'll see the benefits of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Hard work is not something that can be overstepped on the way to success. I mean, such few people actually get anywhere without hard work. So,
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you actually, obviously from a very young age, I won't tell you what I was doing at 19, but no, I was just traveling. So you jumped into the business. Were you then an owner of the business? Kind of, how did that work?
I bought the business in 1989. I officially owned the company in 1990. So that's when I officially owned it.
Okay. Do you remember what your first big trauma was? Your first big big problem?
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So straight away, the entrepreneur in me saying, "Let's expand. Let's do this. My dad was pretty conservative, and I said, no, we've got to buy a new gelato machine because we made gelato as well, and we got to buy a new chocolate machine. We never had one. Everything was done by hand. And he said, slow down. And I said, no. So the first thing I did was I bought a new gelato machine, and not studying reading which was the best machine, and I was trying to cut costs. And back then, so we're talking 1992, I paid, instead of spending $15,000 on this machine, I paid $7,000. And I thought, yes, but for 5 to 10 years we had problems with this stupid machine. Anyway, that was a great lesson because it ended up costing me double. Then I needed to buy a chocolate machine, and so back then, remember, there was no Siri, no Google, no nothing. All I had to do was write letters to these chocolate machine companies around the world, and waited till the letter came, fax and all that type of stuff. Anyway, after studying what I really wanted to do, I finally made a decision, and I bought a Tacoma 34, whatever, but I paid $70,000 for it. Back in 1995. 1995.
Whoa.
So how long? 30 years ago? Is that right? Does that make sense? No, 20 years ago. So anyway, come on, KP. Oh, man. Anyway, so back then,
direction.
70, 70 grand, right? That machine is still running. That machine is still making me money.
That's good. That's good.
That was a great investment. And I learnt, how amazing I learned a great lesson from losing a lot of money to making some really good money, and taking care of my equipment and making sure it got serviced. And yeah, it was a great investment. So I learned a good lesson. Now every time I buy a piece of equipment, I just study the hell out of it, ring people up, and now with technology, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I know within my parents' restaurant, I mean, they rent equipment now. Then they get it serviced for free and all of those things.
Things like that have changed
like
so
they
much.
used to. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so now that we get a little bit of background, at what point did you start getting into social media? And maybe it was not social media at the time. Maybe it was just like email marketing or something that was, kind of before social media really started taking off. What was the advent of that in your business?
Well, the first thing that really came out was www. the World Wide Web.
Yes, absolutely.
And I'm a bit of a nerd, a bit of a geek. I love social media. I used to pull my computer apart, put it back together again. I wish I went back to uni and I studied computer science or computer engineering, and I'd love building my computer. I actually tried being a hacker at one stage, getting into the modem and
side business.
Yeah, well, back then we had dial-up, so I'd have
Okay.
Oh my God, this takes so long. Now it's like super fast. So I read doing all that. First thing I did was perfectionchocolates.com, but I did perfectionchocolates.com.au, but always knew that I had to have .com on everything. And I picked up chocolatejohnny.com, my name.com, my kids' names.com, any other type of business, any derivative of Perfection Chocolates, anything that had, I've got Perfection Coffee, I've got Perfection Ice Cream, I've just got them all. But I've got .com and .com.au. And then kept on doing that, and of course, good old Facebook came along, and when Facebook brought into business, I was hooked, put on Perfection Chocolates. And then, of course, it escalated from there. You had your Twitter. Twitter comes out. I think it was Twitter. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and the list goes on, and Chocolate Johnny's on all of them. But Perfection Chocolates is on all of them too. All of them.
Yeah, you sent us quite a list of links to share out throughout the show.
Yeah, well, you said,
which is good.
But you said to me, send it, and I said to you, I feel guilty, and then I put them all on there, and your email went, wow, and I went, oh, sorry. So,
No, totally fine. I mean, the thing is, your Chocolate Johnny, that entity, that brand is separate from Perfection Chocolates, even though they are connected. It's very similar with my agency. It's like I've got my personal brand, but I'm obviously linked with my agency. So if I was to give someone a bunch of links, it would be very much the same thing. Okay, so let's talk about, we've got a couple of questions on the side about Snapchat, which we will jump into in just a minute, because Snapchat is where it's at these days. But first, I want to kind of know, you said Facebook was your first social network. Which Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then Snapchat, is that correct?
Yeah, and then live streaming, which is Periscope.
Live
okay.
Video. So which one, like, how difficult was it to start marketing on Facebook and Twitter when you got on? What, do you remember what year that was?
I think I see. What I always did is make sure I had at Chocolate Johnny and at Perfection Chocolates. So when I found out about Twitter, I think Twitter came out in 2008, if I'm right. I got on there, only a few months later. The same as Facebook. When it went into business, I think it was 2010. So I got on there straight away. I mean, Periscope was March this last year. I was on it 1st of April. Snapchat, to everyone's shock, I was on a month after it was released, and have been snapping nearly at least once a week or once a day from that time. Instagram I absolutely loved, and I thought that was my forte, but yeah, Periscope. So Facebook was a struggle.
You forgot about Vine as well.
Oh yeah, I've got Vine, and I've got now Slinger, and I'm on Peach, and I'm on whatever. The list goes on. If you look at my iPhone, it's just got all this. Yeah, Vine. The first Vine I did was in 2013, which people find very hard to believe. So
my thing is, and I know that within my father, my family, when I mentioned that I was going to be interviewing you, and definitely, the content that you do is so relevant, and it's fresh, and it's on top of all of the trends, I think, in terms of, just the way you put together stories, the way you utilize, your brand, but you're not too salesy, the way it's like fun and you share yourself and it's genuine. So how is it that you stay on top of those things? Like, what do you think it is that propels you to be able to create this kind of content?
Yeah, you know what? That's a really good question. Really good question. I don't know. I just, I think, I don't think I'm a creative. I don't think I'm artistic, but I keep getting told that I am when I create all my weird, wonderful chocolates, and that I've got amazing Snapchats, and, my tweets are funny, or I've got Facebook posts, and my Vines. I don't know. I don't know. It's a real, honestly, I really can't answer that question. I just, an example with Snapchat, I'll walk past one of my products and I'll think of something, or I'll walk past a tree and I'll just think of something funny, totally nothing to do with Perfection Chocolates. I'll Periscope about not chocolate, and I'll get the most viewers. So yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question. I wish I could answer that a lot better. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Well, you had mentioned to me, in our conversations that that you play with your sons on social media, that you all have like family duels to see who can like make up the funniest pictures on Snapchat or whatever it is. I feel like, because you are such a family man and you are so involved in your children's lives and in the fact that they're on social media and you're always tapping into that, I feel like that has to play a role in your ability to be able to translate what it is you're doing, to several different age groups. I mean, I think any age, any person of any age could look at your stuff. Maybe they don't even like chocolate and they would enjoy what it is that you're doing,
Yeah, thank you.
Would you agree?
I agree, and I try and cover all ages. But I think the one big thing for us with me and Mrs. Chocolate is that we have an open door policy. Unfortunately, there's some really nasty stuff out there on the internet, and I said to the boys, and we sat down and we said, listen, and my daughter's much older now, so she's married and she's off doing her own thing. But with the two boys, I said, this is the rules, and this is my house. I'm your father. I'm not your friend first. I'm your father. Just realize that, and we'll get on really, really well. And, they were fighting it. And I said, these are the rules. The rules are, I need to know everything. I want your passwords. I want this. I want that. I want all of it. Your mum and I want it all. We want it. Anyway, they were resistant to it. But I said, here's the rules. I'm giving your rules. You're giving me rules. I'm going to tell you I'm plugged in and switched on to you guys. And that you need to know one thing. I love you. I'll respect you. But I am your father again. So here it is. I will take everything, but I will not engage. I will not write anything. I will not say anything. I will not do anything. I will not reply to anything. I will not post anything until we have sat down together and we've talked about it. And they said, here's the passwords, Dad. And still to this day, 3 years on, never had a problem. Dad, don't post that. Sure, I won't. Hey, Spencer, can I post this? Yeah. Hey, do you want to do a snap together? No. But they come to me and they say, hey, can we Snapchat together? Or can we do a tweet together? Or so, yeah, that's why I think we're doing so well as a family and social media. Oh, look, we have our problems. Don't worry. But in general, I look at most of my other friends and they are suffering. They are suffering.
Yeah.
So,
well,
so far, so good.
It's the involvement. It's the involvement. It's the engagement. It's the I'm in your face, like I'm hanging out with you. You know what I mean? I think that that's like a whole different tangent we can get off on. But well, I think you know.
I got to tell you
when
something.
You and I talked before, it was like this is why we talked for so long.
The one thing that I'm really proud of and I love so much is my son comes home last year and he says, "Oh, Dad, my mates love your Snapchats. They think you are the funniest guy." And some of them have said, "Wow, I wish we had a dad like that." And I said, "Mate, they shouldn't be like that. They should be happy with their dad." You know, and he's, you know,
absolutely,
but I'm so proud when he says that. I mean, I love it. I absolutely just love it. It makes me feel good that I've done a great job as a father and my wife has done a great job as a mother.
Well, you certainly, again, when you and I talked, it was like why this conversation went on so long because we were agreeing on all these things. We've got lots of great questions. I wanted to go ahead and kind of start grabbing some of these and pulling them into the conversation. This one's from Vin. How do you manage all the accounts? Do you have a VA?
Vin, no VA. I do it all. I get up. I'm up at 5 o'clock every morning. And just turn on the phone and make my bed, go have a shower, and just do all my stuff. Sometimes Mrs. Chocolate's not happy, but you know, it could be worse.
Good question. Okay, let's grab another one here. I know this was one of the first ones that came in. I'm not really, I would say, this is from Clay Mosley. I would assume that he's saying, do you represent a personal brand or a business brand on Snapchat?
So he's asking me, good, yeah, how do I answer that? Well, I've on Snapchat, I've got Perfection Chocolates and I've done nothing with it. So represent a personal brand. I mean, you see what I do on Snapchat, I combine both with it. So
I think that you are Chocolate Johnny at Perfection Chocolate on Snapchat. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think works. I think if I can give anyone advice, I think do it the way I do it. Don't copy me, but do your own thing. If you're like a restaurant and you're the chef, then, you know, be the chef at La Grande restaurant and do it that way and do your own stories and stuff like that. So yeah, there's both.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well, I mean, the thing is, you know, why it works so well is because you're able to share the background. You're able to share the story element. You're able to be in the midst of all of it. It is your life. It is what you're doing. So you're really just kind of sharing your life. But in the midst of that, you're sharing your business because that is your life. And that's when that like the special social sharing happens.
Yeah, most definitely.
Let's see here. This is from Mark.
Bronze.
Do you see
on
a
my film.
Snapchat angle for your business?
Do I see a Snapchat angle for my business? Yeah, I always. I'm just trying to understand that question. Do I see a Snapchat angle for my business?
Maybe do you tell
Well-
stories like, you know, from an angle for your business, or does it work? He says the sales.
Yeah, I think it
Okay,
does
so
work.
are you making
well, okay.
money?
Right. Okay. Am I making money from Snapchat?
Are you making money from Snapchat?
Truthfully, not that I know of. I don't know if the call to action of perfectionchocolates.com and I get them on my email list is working. But from Snapchat, no, not really. I don't think I'm making more money on Periscope. That's been my biggest income so far from live streaming. I've made more money than I have on Snapchat. But hang on a moment. I did a 2 years ago. I did a Snapchat discount code. Yeah, so I have made money from it. So what I get a lot of school kids coming in and they love Snapchat. So what I've done is I put a Snapchat discount code and I said, buy a hot chocolate, get one free. So I made money from it. Yeah, I suppose I have.
Okay,
I'm going to do it again.
follow-up question. Then why do you spend your valuable time doing it?
My
For
valuable
Mark.
time?
Yes.
Why do I spend my valuable time? Because I love it. I love entertaining people. I love people seeing what I do. I love people seeing my product. I love people feeling that they are part of my life. That's why I do it. That's why I spend time on it. I think there is going to be, I am going to make money from it eventually. How long, how soon, not really sure. But yeah, I think I'm going in the right direction with it. I'm not Anna knows that I'm not a salesy guy. I don't sit there and Perfection Chocolates, join me, da-da-da-da. I just, go along, do my stuff, talk about silly things, see the sunrise, sunset, and show you some chocolate.
Well, I think too, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to business and Snapchat, especially for smaller businesses, is still an investment. Of course, a big brand can jump onto Snapchat. They can hire a bunch of influencers on Snapchat that have large audiences, and then maybe start pushing out their brand and seeing sales immediately from that. But I think when it comes to small businesses, and I had written an article about this at the beginning of 2015. I grew up in restaurants, so it was like from the restaurant angle. It was like, go ahead and start, putting that little ghost emblem on the register, put it on your website, put it on places so that people start knowing that you are there. Start telling those stories, and then on a Tuesday night when it's slow, you can upload one photo of the special and be like, come in tonight and get this, whatever, 20% off. I think that Snapchat is such an investment, especially for small businesses, because it's still, even though it's big in the marketing industry right now, and I think a very younger generation is jumping onto it, I think it's still going to take time to grow. In addition, and I want to talk about this a little bit, because your business is in Australia. And when I lived in Asia, I know it was so difficult for me to stay relevant in my industry because of the time difference. It was so difficult for me to be able to, interact and do those things. And I know, in addition, that side of the world is quite a bit behind where we're at in the US when it comes to social media and marketing. So how is this something that you see affecting you? Is it an issue for you? How do you bypass that? 50,000 questions at one time.
That's a really good question. Can I be honest with you? I have never even bothered worrying about what time it is in the US or in Canada or in Asia, or I just do it. And I know there's going to be all these marketing guys go, oh my God, what are you doing? I don't care. Someone's going to watch me. Someone's going to listen. Someone's going to see it. It might not have the most exposure, but Snapchat's on there for 24 hours. Periscope's on there for 24 hours. If I build a strong, tight community of friends, this is what I see my Periscope and my Snapchat and my Twitter and my Facebook. You are my friends. Then you'll watch me anytime. You'll watch my replay. You'll go watch my Snapchats. So I just go there and do it. I've done this Periscope so I'm known for my Periscope sunset scopes. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning in America or Canada. People have told me they wait up. They look at my notifications just to see my sunset. And it's not the sunset they come to. They come to hear Chocolate Johnny shoot his, say his stuff, his funny stuff, make them laugh. I just do it. It doesn't matter what time. I've been at 2 o'clock in the morning waiting to listen to people in America and Canada and Europe. So I give them the respect back.
Yeah, Peter Freeman says over here on the right, nailed it. I'm in Canada, and I can still keep up with you.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's grab another question in here since we had a couple. It's a good one. How did you learn to delegate effectively to provide time for social media? That's a really great question.
Yeah, it is a good question, Adam. Very good question.
Absolutely.
Firstly, you've got to have an amazing spouse. That's
boom.
You've got to. Man, I wouldn't be here talking to you if I didn't have an amazing partner, wife, friend, because it's not happening. So she knows. She puts up with a lot of shit. Sorry to say it, Hannah. She does.
It's okay.
The amount of times that she said, "Are you on that bloody thing again? What are you snapping about? What are you tweeting about? What are you Instagramming about?" I said, "Honey, please, I've got to do this." Why? Are they coming, buying stuff? Are we making money? Are we paying the bills? I said, I don't know. I hope so. But yeah, no, I don't know. Without Eva, really, without her, I wouldn't be able to effectively delegate it. Seriously, I wouldn't. I'm pretty blessed. She's my troll on Periscope. She keeps me in line. So, yeah. I just wake up early. I just know at the right time. I was known for a thing called Twitter on the toilet. I don't read the newspapers anymore. Yeah, I know. Sorry, but Twitter on the toilet. Instead of reading the paper, you tweet on the toilet.
Everyone kind of does it. If it's not Twitter, it's Snapchat or Facebook or
exactly. Exactly. So
we won't dive too deep into that one.
Yeah, I just make sure that I allocate enough time to use it effectively, and Snapchat's really not that hard. People think Periscope's a little bit more. That takes a lot more time. And I don't do my hour Periscopes anymore. I've reduced them now to 30 minutes. I try and do 2 a day. I haven't done a couple. I was a Periscope host. It was my ever first Periscope hosting gig. That took, a few hours of work. But yeah, I get up straight away. I have all my notifications on. I seriously have all my notifications on. If you look at my phone, I'm not afraid to put all the notifications on. So I don't know if you can see this, but they're all there.
Yeah. So let me ask you. You have mentioned that you've made money with Periscope. So talk to me about how that has come about.
Okay, so one thing was I've had 25 people from Periscope come into my store. So that's making money.
So local business.
Yeah. So
how is it? Go ahead.
So I've been Periscoping since April the 1st. And after a while, you build a following, you build a community. And I would tell everyone, if you're in Rose Bay, if you're in my store, if you're ever around, come into my store. And the first person that ever came in, it was Phoebe, and we periscoped together, and she bought some product. Did I make money from it? I don't know. Who knows how you classify it. From then on, I've had 25 people who have met me on Periscope come into my store and buy product. Firstly, they wanted to meet Chocolate Johnny. Are you Chocolate Johnny? I said, yeah. Hi. Da 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 da. And of course, Chocolate Johnny's pretty. I love giving people products. So they would come along and we'd have a coffee or a hot chocolate, and then they'd end up buying a product. So have I made money from it? Yes, I think I have. Have I built a really good email list from it? Yes, I have. Did I do a Periscope giveaway? Sorry, I did make money from it. A few months ago, a while ago now, I built a freckle. It's a chocolate freckle. It's a round freckle with hearts, with sprinkles on it. And I had 10 of them. And I got on Periscope and I said, hey guys, I've got 10 of these left. Email me, the Chocolate Johnny. Tell me what you want, blah, 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 blah. They PayPal'd me. I sold 10 of them at $16.
Nice.
4 minutes of work. So did I make money of it? Yeah, I did. Could I do that again? Of course I can. What else? I've just
let me ask you about local business and the social media. How is social media helping you locally?
Actually, it's
because you just said funny. That like people came in from Periscope. Are you seeing those things, returns? Do you have any way of evaluating that in your store? Like, do you ask those questions at the register? Hey, how'd you find us? If you didn't know them or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I should do that more regularly. I definitely know that I've got to make sure that I utilize that more. I mean, we've got an iPad there where people sign up, and I ask them how they heard about us. Anna, we've been here since 1939, so everyone knows us.
Right.
I know everyone. I know them by name. I know them by car, by family, by where they live, what they eat, what they drink. So the new people, I tend to say, oh, hi, I've never seen you before. How did you just, oh, no, we were just walking past. I've had people from Instagram say to me, oh my God, yeah, I saw your Instagram, Perfection Chocolates. I saw your hot chocolate and I had to come by. I saw you on Facebook. I did a search on chocolate on Facebook. The local market's been tough for us. The Aussies are a bit behind on social media. A lot of retailers and a lot of bricks and mortars are really scared of it, and that's why I'm an advocate to help these people. I really want to help small businesses big time. Bricks and mortar businesses are struggling, totally struggling, and they need a Chocolate Johnny to come into their life and say, hey, do this, tweet this, Instagram that, change this, change that. And they don't have the money. I've helped a lot of people for nothing, but I see results, and I appreciate them saying to me, Chocolate Johnny, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have that extra 5 customers. Or, wow, thank you for helping me on my Instagram account. And, oh, I never knew about Periscope. And wow, my Facebook's changed. And, I didn't know Twitter could be so powerful. So, yeah.
Let's trying. Well, I know that one of my clients in the UK, they would go to Australia quite often, and he would always tell me about how just kind of behind, even in the UK, they're far behind in terms of social media. Yeah. This was when I was working with this specific client. Pinterest was absolutely exploding in the US, and they hadn't even heard of it. And it was a retail, like online retail business. And I'm like, what? You haven't heard of Pinterest? Like, we're going to kill it, So let's take one more question before we kind of wrap up the show. And folks, definitely stick around, because we're going to start opening up that seat and letting you jump in after 9. And make sure to subscribe to next week's show. We're going to have Miss Jody Oakham on, and she is incredible. She's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman who is a mother her entire life. She put her family first, and then when her last daughter went off to college at 50, she decided, she said, what am I going to do with my life? And she has built an extremely, extremely successful business, working with families, helping them with their financial aid for their children to go to college. She's writing a book. She's going to be on TV. I mean, like, you talk about success story at every age. She is killing it, and she's a blast. So make sure you subscribe for that show. She's going to be fantastic. Okay, last question here before we go off the air comes from Andy Parker. Have you seen the demographic of your customers change since you started using social media?
No, no. I've got my demographics in my store. When I did a survey, is I have people from 2-3 years old to 105 years old coming into my store. There's social media. No, I haven't seen a change in the demographics at all so far from what I've gauged.
You think that's maybe because it's been around since 1939?
Yeah, see that I mean, sometimes I wish I had this business only for 10 years and that I could gauge it a little bit better. But I had a customer, Dennis Ashton. He's on my Instagram, 96 years old. He says, John, I remember when your great uncle was here. I remember when you were a little boy. That's cool. I mean, that stuff. I mean, I want to interview him, pretty soon before he passes away, because he's 96. You don't know what could happen. I've got, we've had
and still some eating chocolate.
Yeah. He loves his chocolate. Anna, we've had the most. Oh my God, I've had some of the world famous actors, actresses, music, the most influential people come to my store, buy my product. I mean, I've got a list of people that have come into my store and wow. When Bruce Springsteen walks into your store, you think, okay. Russell Crowe comes in and you think, oh, this guy must be doing something right. I mean, the list goes on. So demographics, no. They all come in because they love chocolate. He's a nice guy.
Yeah. I would, the thing for me and Russell Crowe is I love his voice. He could just talk to me, and I would just be like, okay.
Well, he was in the other day, and the rules and regulations for my staff is I've got 10 staff. I mean, Barbara Streisand's eaten my chocolate. We've got all the TV personalities. The list is endless. The richest people in Australia have come here. Some of the wealthiest people in the world have come here. The Pope's eaten my product. I just can go on. And the rules are the girls know that they can't. And you know what? They all appreciate it. They all love it. And I just walk up to him. I say, "G'day, Russell. How you going?" He goes, "G'day. How you going?" And that's it. And he buys his product and off he goes with his kids. And he feels comfortable. We make them feel like they're at home. They don't have to worry about paparazzi. We've got an escape route too. Like we've told them, if you ever have a problem, we've got a back door. You can just go there. And we've done it. We've helped people.
When I worked when I lived in Jackson, Wyoming, we had, I worked at like one of the most happening restaurants in town. We had so many big names come through, and it was just like, I mean, I would freak out in the kitchen, but I wasn't going to treat them any differently than I treated anyone else. Sandra Bullock was my first one. And when she walked through the door, I was like, what? It was my first celeb, but the thing is she was with her family, so as soon as I saw her as a celeb, then I just saw her as a girl with her family. And she's so much more beautiful in person, by the way. So
my father, I remember one of the first person that I sort of went, oh my God, was Paul Hogan. I don't know if you know Crocodile Dundee. He came into the store when I was really young. And I was like, hey, Dad, oh my God. And he says, hey, calm down. The guy eats, sleeps, and goes to the toilet just like you do. Just treat him like a normal human being. And that's how we've always done it. So I think that's why people feel comfortable coming into our store. They love it. They love just coming in.
They get enough people digging through their trash. I mean, if I was a famous person, I'd want to be able to go get some chocolate like a normal person too, I mean, It is what it is. Okay, so folks, we're going to shut down this show. We are going to stop recording, but make sure you stick around because we're going to pull you into the seat and let you ask Chocolate Johnny your questions yourself. We definitely still had some good ones on the side. So folks, make sure that you stick around. Like I said, subscribe to next week's show. And I know that KP is going to throw in a link there. If you don't, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. The videos from the replays go up the very next day. In addition, you could always find out what is happening for the next Behind the Brand show on Twitter or Facebook or Snapchat. I am always talking about my guests on Snapchat. So make sure, hook up with me there. You can find KP at KP_Kelly on Twitter. And Johnny, last words. Where can people find you? Where would you prefer they connect with you?
God, go to perfectionchocolates.com.au. I'd love to see you all there. And Chocolate Johnny is the new sort of website that I'm building. That's the other part of the brand that's split away. I'd love you guys to join me on Snapchat. I feel free that I can tell everyone, join me on Snapchat without thinking that people are going to say, Chocolate Johnny, are you sending those funny pics?
Those nude photos?
Yes, as we say, the ICK pics. So,
scantily clad ones?
Yeah. So, I love the fact now that, and it's taken 4 years, Anna. My God, I was like, go, please, someone tell me that Snapchat's okay. So
it's
yeah,
right.
I love.
It's okay.
Yeah, okay, it's safe. Chocolate Johnny's on Snapchat and he's not a weirdo because he wants all these young kids following him. But no, Snapchat's. I love Snapchat. I'm on YouTube as well. Can you believe it? I started a YouTube channel. I've done nothing with it, but it's on there. So definitely, I'd love you to join me on Periscope at Chocolate Johnny and watch my Periscopes. Snapchat Choc Johnny is my Snapchat. Definitely my websites, chocolatejohnny.com and perfectionchocolates.com.au. The rest you'll see on there anyway. But yeah, I'd love you guys to join me. And really, honestly, if there's anything I can help you with, please reach out. I'm available. My door is open for everyone and anyone.
All right. Well, thanks so much for everyone who took the time to tune into this show. You are incredible. Loved having you. And John, thank you so much. So stick around, folks. The after party begins now.